Good evening, everybody. Welcome in. We're here with KO tonight. We're going to do a quick guild interview on the guild from Fab, I do believe. That's where they're hanging their hats right now. So what we're going to do is a quick intro on the channel and what we're trying to achieve. So basically, the channel, what we're doing on the channel is trying to create kind of a library of guilds that are in Mortal Online 2. So when new players come to the game, they actually have an idea of what kind of guild they want to go to, and they can kind of look through all the guilds that we've done for interviews and sort of pick and choose maybe what they want to do in the game, complete, PVE wise, PvP maybe more oriented type of guilds. So we're creating a massive library of that for the game, and we have it all on our YouTube channel. So we're going to go over a few of the things that we're going to do tonight. Questions will be held till the end of the interview, and they'll be done in a question format. Nick will be running through those. We're going to give Nick a shout out. She's the admin for the channel and does all the work that's done in this channel. She hooks everything up, gets me all sorted out, gets everything set up for me. Also tonight we have co-hosting with me is Malik, and he's gonna say a few words about himself.
Hey everyone, this is Malik. I'm a member of the fabulous Bratwire community, and I've been helping them out with these guild interviews.
Right on, brother. Right on. So tonight we're gonna have Master Roland in, and Mangy Goose is gonna be speaking on behalf. So he's gonna basically give a quick blurb about himself and Roland, and then he's gonna introduce the guys that are with him tonight that are and what their jobs are in the guild. So Mangy, if you want to go ahead and cue that up, go ahead, friend. Thank you.
All right. So I myself am a newer player to Mortal Online 2. I did play, I'm going to say, like a handful of years ago in Mortal Online 1, but I was very new to the scene, so I didn't really understand how the game worked. But once I understood a little bit, I loved it. Then, I went to school, kind of dropped it, and then came back to hear Mortal Online 2 was coming out, so picked it up. Loving it as is. Can't wait for more content. Always loved like the free roam, the open worlds, PvP, full loot, everything like that. Used to play RuneScape as a kid. Went to Albion for a bit. Played Rust when it first came out. So everything like that, I just love. Moving on to Roland. Roland says that he's a new player to Mortal Online itself, but he has led or been an officer in quite a few guilds across different MMORPGs. The list is Life is Feudal, Gloria Victis, and a few other strategy games. He's a very competitive player. Also, he believes the only mute guild leader on Mortal Online. Oh, so he comes out and actually says it. Okay. So he is a mute guild leader. Okay.
Yep.
I think a few of us were actually really hoping to hear his voice tonight. Even us in the guild itself.
I knew.
Yeah. So we also have the Bulvi here. He pretty much handles logistics and handing out armor within the guild. And he always hooks me up with weapons. So all you guys who have killed me AFK in the bank, because they do that quite a bit and have gotten a pole sword out of it, you're welcome. Say thanks to Bulvi.
Bulvi, do you want to kind of go through and explain what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm just what's up, everybody? My name's Bulvi. I'm a vet of open world full loot games. Pretty much the list that they just went over. I've played them all.
Yeah.
I guess you could say I handle some logistics in the guild, consolidating resources. I got 2 guys, so I make armor and weapons, and try to sometimes maybe do a little bit of like inter-guild public relations. I guess I just try to keep it cool, keep the morale up and all that. Help out when needed. Trying the whole shot calling thing is new to me, so I'm getting used to that, but it's tough. It's different in here. Other than that, about us, I guess we're ARPK guild out of Fab that. A bunch of good guys, a lot of really good guys in here from all over the world, and a lot of us are new to the game, so we're all still learning. It's a learning process, but we're just trying to have fun doing it.
All right. Who's next on the list for the next person there? You got Mangy.
I believe it's
Titanborn?
yeah, Titanborn.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so my current character, I mean, I've actually got a few characters, but currently I'm running around under the moniker of Lyris Titanborn from ESO, which kind of belies my history as a gamer. I play a little bit more of the PvE focused stuff, but this one has kind of caught my attention. Mortal Online, new to Mortal Online 2 and Mortal Online as a series, but it's definitely an awesome game. But basically, my role in the guild is I am kind of the resident alchemist, along with another one of my good friends who's also in the guild is Jaeger. We kind of work together to work out some of the more esoteric systems of the game, because we just like messing around with that more than we like PvP, and but it takes all kinds. But yeah. So and like I believe I actually caught one of your streams with Bratwire. I caught one of yours, the Alchemist Council, the Chosen Alchemy
Yes.
Discord is. Yeah, I'm one of the admins of that. So we kind of help new players as well as obviously provide for the guild. So that's kind of my role in the guild.
Perfect. Aren't they just amazing?
Yeah.
That Chosen
Oh, yeah,
Alchemy
man.
is mind blowing, man. Absolutely
Yeah,
mind
it's a
blowing.
lot of information, and it's like a fire hose, but we do our best to try and get guys going in like the shallow end and not really have to worry too much about too much too quick.
Yeah, that's good. It's really good. So I'm gonna let Malik go ahead and ask the first question tonight if he's ready to go.
Alrighty. Yeah, so Lyris was one of my favorite characters in ESO too, so that's a good name.
Yeah, that's I agree. Yeah. the Collards just kind of inspired me to make essentially a Lyris Titanborn character, so that's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So what would you guys say the main philosophy of your guild is in Mortal Online 2?
I mean, I can probably just answer that pretty easily. Just ARPK focused. So we do have a kill on sight list, so we will go gray if we really want to, if we're really that annoyed with you. But mainly just trying to keep Fab safe and doing the best we can. Being new players, it's it's kind of difficult. We try to take on those experienced players, but we do the best we can. I mean, a lot of us are new players too, like I said. So like we're always welcoming new players, trying to help them out the best we can, which kind of led to that ARPK philosophy.
Yeah, Fab is it's like a slaughterhouse at times for sure. Right?
Yeah, it can be it's fun and then it's annoying and then it's fun again. It's a roller coaster.
Yeah. So if what's the average on your like players? Like if you logged on tonight, there'd be like 15 players on in your guild or 20, or what's the number you guys are running right now?
I think currently for active members, I mean I could just take a look real quick too.
Well, I know it's difficult right now too at this point in time because of
Yeah.
there's no content. It's really hard to get players to come back on. It's just people are
So
kind of hanging out.
yeah, I think a good number to put on that is like between 10 to 15.
10 to 15. Okay, that's still pretty good for this time right now. Like I would imagine even. So how many guild members do you have right now? Do you think, like ish?
Does it tell us in the guild menu?
Like you're
I
well
mean,
over 50, right?
yeah, well we have to be because we had to make sister guilds first and then we
Yeah.
just dissolved those, right? So we're over
I
50.
think
That's for
I
sure.
think I saw 110 members on the KO. That sound about right?
Yeah, with all three guilds merged, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And you got 10 to 15, so that's a 10 to 15%. That's not bad. It's not bad for active right now for what we have. You know. So the other thing is I guess the location. You guys are definitely hanging out in Fab. That's going to be your. Is that the place you're going to try to like make your home and then possibly put up a keep or housing, or where are you going from there?
Yeah, from there, I don't think we've actually discussed too much about what we're doing after, like once guild territories come out, just because we don't exactly know how it's going to work yet, right?
Yeah.
But Fab is definitely where we're hanging our hat for sure. That has been
Okay.
clear to me since the start, even though it's definitely raised some questions within the guild and why we're doing it. But we're doing
Well,
it, so we've
Well,
committed.
if you're committed, that's it. That's what you got to do because you got tons of guilds that are coming through there. It's a very popular town, and plus Karnash is right over there, so you're gonna have constant fights over there.
Yeah, so we get a lot of new players come through Fab as well because it's just a replica of Haven. Or I guess
Yes,
Haven's a copy paste of Fab. So that's
basically, yeah.
that's how we meet the newer players and try to get them set up so they can play the game and not be just griefed and give up right away.
Yeah. So what other guilds are over there that you guys are? Are you trying to work with other guilds in Fab to organize something, or it's just you guys just want to take the show over and push everybody out type of thing?
Oh no, I don't think we're ever going to be in a point where we're going to push anybody else out. I mean, I like making
Mm-hmm.
friends myself, and I think that's how a lot of
Yes.
us play in this guild. So I know NWO is here and Acolytes are here, and even though like they have their own agendas and do what they want to do, like within Fab, and as long as they're not the ones being aggressive and killing people, then we have no problem with people hanging out here.
Yeah. I think cutting out friendships and stuff in this game is crucial for down the road part in this game because everything has consequences in this game, big time. So let's touch on the housing a little bit more here because you said you spoke, but you guys didn't really talk about exactly what you plan on doing or a general idea. Obviously, when housing comes in, you guys are all going to want houses of some sort. But is the
Yeah,
end goal getting to a keep?
absolutely. I think
Yeah.
that's hands down for any guild. I think that's the end game goal. Well, not end game, but like end game guild's goal, I guess to say.
Yeah. Well, you need um Titanborn. You said that you're going to be more of the PVE. So because when you get a keep, you have taxes, right? So you have to keep the money coming in like crazy. So are you guys gonna be working on a lot of dungeons then?
Yeah, that's definitely my planned focus is going to be more PVE, helping people out, getting engaged in that content, exploring, working with the crafting systems. That's more my
Yeah.
stick anyway. Like I enjoy PvP, but I don't want it to be like all I have to do. That's always
Yeah.
kind of how I am. I'm a lot more casual with my time on a video game. So
Okay. Yeah, because
yep.
PvE is going to be like the way they're talking. They're revamping all the AI in the game to make the PvE aspect of the game probably a lot more popular than it was in the MO1. I would think. I don't know.
Yeah, and
What do you guys
I've
think
seen
about that?
Henrik mention that the whole MO2 focus is going to be a little bit more shifted towards PVE,
Mm-hmm.
offering more in that front because, I mean, there's no PVE if you're doing it right and you're setting up the like interest points like in the right way. You're going to generate PvP content by doing that. So it makes perfect sense
Absolutely.
for the game to do that.
Yeah, he has been speaking about it in great depth for sure. And I think if there is PVE, it will bring the PvP. And also when there's more PvE, there's more money in the game.
Yeah,
You
and
know what I
there's more
mean?
players because
Yeah,
it reaches a lot wider audience. So.
I think so too. And the way they're talking about the dungeons, like obviously they're right now they only have a couple in or whatever, but when they start making those big dungeons like the Seder dungeon and fully spawning that where, it takes hours to get down to the first boss or whatever, that's gonna create a lot of content in the game, and I think people are definitely looking forward to the next few patches coming up here next month as well.
Yeah, the new points of interest that's coming mid June and some other things here and there. Actually, I think the points of interest might be into the month. I'm not remembering exactly at this moment, but yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's what I'm excited about is the new AI, new creatures to tame, new creatures to kill, new resources. Every once in a while, they like even with every patch, there's been little ninja like unspoken, not even in the patch notes things that are like collective like salvia and like different salvia was not necessarily one, but just this last patch they added a whole
Yes.
bunch of alchemical ingredients that we were
Yeah.
like, oh, now we got to go find all of them. So every patch is like a secret little hidden treasure trove of secrets every time, that's what gets me going. So
Yeah. Malik, did you want to add anything on to either the housing part or the dungeons, like the PV aspect?
Yeah. Do you guys have plans to do to help out new players with housing?
Bova, you can go ahead. I'm going to take care of what I got to.
Okay. Again, just because we don't know how the housing is going to work, how much it's going to cost, and everything. We're not 100% sure what we'll be able to do to help, but as far as information and if it is a possibility with our numbers to help them out, I'm sure. I mean, like I said, a lot of our guys are good guys and everything, and we're trying to be a friendly guild, so I'm sure that will be on the table.
Yeah, that's like getting your housing nailed down, and because when you can have all the, like when you have a keep, everything is piled inside, right? So you have all your librarians in there, your stables, all that kind of thing, your banks. It just makes life so much easier once it's built and up going. It's the way to go, I think, in this kind of game for sure.
Yeah, and then especially if they're in the vicinity of our main area, which is probably be Fab,
Yeah.
then that will fall into our, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
jurisdiction in a way, to try to help them
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting with some of these PK guilds that want to own territory. How are they going to deal with the people that try to settle in around them?
Yeah. Fully go ahead there if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I've considered that greatly. Is that these? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the keeps are going to be set locations. Is that correct?
16 to 20 locations. That's what we're hearing, but
Yeah, so I can
it could
imagine.
be off a bit.
I could imagine they will be highly contested by some pretty tough guilds, especially ones in key locations, strategic locations. So
Dalcor.
yeah, something in between like Galcor and near the Tefra crater and whatnot, and the dungeons, Minotaur dungeon, all that area is probably going to be highly contested, even around Fab. I'd imagine, just because it's pretty centralized.
Yeah, there, and like I don't know if Botke will be as much, because I do believe there's probably a keep probably south of Bodke, and then Moki will have one just over the ridge. There's definitely a keep location there. There was in the original, and then I think for Vada, there's probably two going up through the valley towards Medullii, and then west of Donut Rock in there was another keep site before. So it's a big area though. So we'll see. But hopefully there's more keep spots actually, so they can tighten up the areas or territories they can own.
Yeah, honestly, hearing 16, that's surprising. I thought it was going to be more than that, but yeah, 16, then it will be highly contested, I believe.
Yeah. If anybody knows a different number in chat and has heard a different number than 16, go ahead and put it in there, and we'll try to get to the number. There was two keep spots by Bodke. Yeah, north and the east. Yeah, there's three east of Moki. Yeah, one was over the mountain range. Yeah, something like that. Anyways, if anybody has an actual number, we'll take that. Let's just jump into the recruiting here for a second. Is there any specifics that you guys are looking for in the recruiting? Say you an old guy a vet comes out and wants to join you guys or your game, and obviously you said you didn't care if they were new. You said that you wanted to get a hold of a bunch of new players. If you want to go ahead and elaborate a bit on that.
Yeah, so new players, it's great because you can kind of teach them your play style. They learn the game with you, so you kind of generate that bond. But if a vet came up and said they need a guild, as long as we know they're not obviously playing the politics game, spying or anything like that, then I would never have a problem with someone just wanting to join up.
Yeah, like speaking from experience, the politics part is huge in this game, and I know you guys are gonna be learning it real quick when it happens to you, where people will. It's harder now because you have to buy an account, right? Before you could make accounts and just go in. So the spying will be a little bit harder this time around.
Yeah.
So if you want if you want to talk about that a little bit, you can do.
Yeah, just from Roland here. His answer
Yep.
for the question before that was just looking for the willingness to help out, follow our rules, and trying to have a good time. That's what we're all here for.
For
We
the
don't have
ethos.
specific standards.
Okay. That's for the recruiting and the ethos. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So just repeat that again real quick so I can write that down. Roland said,
We look for willingness to help out,
yep.
follow our rules, and trying to have a good time. That's what we're all
Okay.
here for. We don't have specific standards.
All right. Follow the rules. Okay. Help out. Malik, did you have a question while I go ahead and write this stuff down?
Sure. I'm curious. Has anyone in the guild ever heard Roland speak?
No, nobody.
We were all
I mean,
hoping you'd speak tonight.
everybody was tuning in tonight to try to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They found out that he's a mute. Like he.
Yeah,
So
we
that's
never
why.
we never heard it officially, but now we know.
Yeah.
So at least we got something out of it.
He's the bomb. He's the bomb. See
A
what he's
man of
doing?
mystery.
Yeah. He's a good guy. Every time he sees me, he's like waving at me and stuff. He's fabulous. So let's go ahead. Did you have something to add on to that? Sorry.
Yeah, so Roland just wants me to add that we've had Aspire
Yeah.
2 in our past, but they've been dealt with pretty quickly. And it's beta, so we're pretty lenient and easygoing at the end of the day anyways.
Yeah. I'll just put that in brackets down there so I can just mention it at the end. All right, so let's jump into alliances that you guys are forging, or are you guys into forging alliances? And if you were going to forge an alliance, guilds would it be with? Kind of.
I can't really mention. We've definitely tried, making friends and making alliances. But I think as far as alliances go, it's really too early in the game to say that right now.
Yep.
It's too early to see where people what the people's intentions are. Where they want to set up. It could all just be flipped really easily. But we've had some naps with the bigger guilds.
Yeah.
Essentially, it was mentioned in Help Chat. I'm not sure if anybody had noticed in Help Chat, but it was mentioned that we've had some naps with people in GK. We've had some naps with people in Fab, and they last so long until people get bored right now. So it's again like Alliance is the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's also one of those things where you've got guilds that you can't even really judge them for their actions right now as much as they're going to be in game, because a lot of people are RPK right now, and they may shift that entire identity once they get into the game, because right now there's just not a lot to do.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to get content, and I don't blame them.
Yeah. You can't take things personal. That's for sure. Right now, it's so sporadic with everything right now. Like it's all over the map. What's going on right now?
And it's so easy to re-roll, and the skills are so increased right now that it will change the whole dynamic once persistence comes out.
Yeah. So you guys are sorry. Go ahead.
We're also open to people like any ARPK guilds or any like-minded people. We're definitely open to alliances. So if anybody's listening and they want to talk about that kind of thing, you can always just hit up Roland or myself or Bovi or Lears later, and we can talk that through.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Alliances are going to be key, because if the population goes to, say, the population on the server is 5,000 people, you're going to need to carve out some huge alliances, because the sieging, that kind of thing, will be so big this time around. It will be absolutely mind blowing, I'm sure. So we're excited for that part of it, anyways.
Absolutely.
So, have you guys been offered any kind of Merc contracts yet?
No, not since I've been in it.
Not that I'm aware of.
We're open to it. We've actually talked today as very lightheartedly if we're all just going to re-roll Archer, and then people could just hire us on for a volley or two middle of the field. Just show up, throw a volley, and leave. You could pay us later.
Yeah. Well, so it's not like you wouldn't say no if it happens. Somebody said, come fight with us. We're gonna later on down the road,
It
we'll
would
give
have
you guys...
to. Yeah, we're not like. It would have to align with our morals, right?
Yeah.
So as long as we're not like being hired on to, gank some innocent miners just to collect a bunch of resources really fast or anything like that. No, like we're in it for the ARPK. I think personally, I can mention like I used to be like RPK, like Albion. Like I used to just be all the time in Wilderness, like back in the day when I was a kid, RuneScape, killing people whenever I could. But like I think this is a bigger challenge.
Yeah.
Being an ARPK. seeing somebody and not being able to kill him because you just like you don't want your name slandered in that way, and it's I don't know. I think that adds to the game for myself personally.
Yeah, it reminds me a whole lot of like, having, I'm military background, having rules of engagement, and then
ROEs.
there's other people that don't have rules of engagement, and like you're the ones that have them, and you have to fight in your rule set because you're trying to come at it from a moral high ground.
So it's ROEs and SOPs, man.
They're the worst.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge.
Yeah, you don't want them half the time. Trust me, they're garbage too. Sometimes anybody that's military knows that.
Yep.
Yeah. So if we were talking about some tactics for your guild, who are like the top people in your guild that would decide who you're going to fight, who you're not going to fight? Is there a council? Do you have 10 guys? Do you got 2 guys that are going to make these decisions? How would this come down?
As of right now, we just have like a handful of people in our council, and it's we talk about alliances, but it's very loose. And it's pretty like it's pretty, I guess, one-dimensional, like who we're fighting, who we're not fighting, just based on who keeps attacking Fab. So like the Fab Mafia guys, the BKO guys, the Laughing Coffin, the Gutter Snipe people, like
Quad,
Wig Splitters,
Quads in there, Wig Splitters, but I haven't seen them. They've kind of fallen off the map. Hopefully they come back because
they were good. Kanye East is heckling the Maduli folk nowadays. So.
Is he?
He's moved on. Yeah.
He's moved on. Well, that's too bad. His name's funny. All right. Did you have anything you wanted to add on there, Malik? Any questions? Well,
are there any specific fights or times in the game so far that stand out to you guys?
I can bring up 2. One very negative and one I'm going to say positive. So. Oh God, you might have to remind me here, Bovai, who we were skirmishing. But we got a skirmish together the one night, and I think it might have been with NWO, but don't quote me. 7. That was it.
Yep.
So we had a skirmish going on with 7. It was about like 5-on-5, and then I think Quad tried jumping in and wiping everybody, unannounced. And we were actually able to turn around like all together, the 2 guilds, 7 and KO. We turned around and wiped them out.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. That felt good. That was, I think, the positive side. That was quick reactions. And then more recently, we tried our first guild-only raid on Corniche. Try to kind of counter raid what the guys do to us here in Fab, just to kind of get the experience for it. And we knew going in it was going to be a poor experience because again, we're all new players. We have, I think, Roland is the most experienced, and like he said it earlier today that he's come from other games, but as far as MO2 goes, we're all new, right? So I think we got to step. I think one of us stepped maybe in front of the bank at the 7 of us. I think we got a person to step in front of the bank, and that's as far as we got into Corniche, and it was over. It was over pretty quickly. That's like experience on our part that was just lacking because we went in with I think 7 or 8 guys, and we were like, okay, yeah, we could do this. We definitely last a little bit. We didn't do a roll check before going in, so we actually only had 3 frontliners, and everybody else was bow and mages, and we had our good friend Sim Sissel. He was doing his stream, and so like they knew it was coming too.
Oh no!
Yeah, they knew it was coming, so it was.
You got to set that up way behind.
Yeah, but it's okay. Like we did it for the experience. We wanted to know what it was like on that end, and it's I mean, from that one time, first time doing it, all new players. It's a lot harder than you think. Yeah. So like these guys coming into raid Fab, like. That's a town with guards too, so they got to prepare for that. They got to be a lot of coordinated for that. So that's something they definitely have up on us is the coordination and the experience. But like when it comes down to it, it was that's I guess that's what I'm just trying to say is that we just need more experience in it.
Yeah. Would you guys like to add on to that?
Just practice, yeah, and just shout out to our enemies. I respect their coordination and. Their resolve to keep coming back and hitting it over and over again. It's, it's content for everybody, and you got to respect that.
Titanborn.
Yeah, with this map being so large, the logistics to to pull off an attack on a distant city. It's just very, very involved, and it's hard to plan that out and have it come together. So you guys, it's good for you guys for doing that and learning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me lay something out really cool for you guys though. You got to remember some of these veterans that have like 20,000 hours into this game, into MO1, half of those hours are PvP hours. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you think about it like that, like some of these guilds that, like when you hear them fight, you won't hear anything in comms. It'll just be all about fights. There'll be no chatter about anything else about, it'll just be calling targets, peels, heals, that kind of thing. And if you ever get a chance to go in a vet guild Discord when they're fighting, you'll hear it's very decisive and right to the point. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you guys are doing your training.
Yeah, as a few of us in here know from our after action reports, it's all communication.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's what I love about being in like this guild for like full of new players is that there's no toxicity after. Like you can tell there's frustrations between guild
Yes.
members, obviously, but it's all laid on the table. There's no
Yeah.
drama afterwards. Like it's from being from other games like Albion, coming from other games like Rust. Like a lot of these after action reports, when you digest things, it's it can get pretty heated. People end up leaving, people get dramatic, people, you know what I mean? But that's I think it's been the most positive experience for me and why I've stuck with KO is because afterwards it's like, okay, what did we do wrong? How do we do it better? And then when we get into our skirmishes, because we try as best we can, as long as we can get the numbers on every night, we try. We've got some like secret spots kind of laid out, inside fab, outside fab, where we do little skirmishes, have our little like 1v1 tournaments, 3v3 tournaments just to practice.
Yeah.
And that's where we practice it, right? We digest and just get it out there.
Yeah.
So
The group fights are super important.
Oh yeah.
Super important to learn because you may think, like when you first get into them, say it's your first 50v50, like you may think it's just chaotic, but it's so on point. Like especially when they're veteran guilds fighting against each other, they know exactly what they're doing, when to push on a certain side. Like if one side starts to collapse, you'll hear the guy go left side and everybody just pushes, and then they run right through to the mages, right? And as soon as they get to the mages, that's when everything falls right apart.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a ways to go on that front, but we're trying. We're gonna keep practicing.
Well, that's good. Yeah, like I said, it's tons of hours. Like
absolutely.
these guys, man, I'm telling you, I watched them train. Like be there on a Saturday, and we'd be going out doing I'm a mage, so I don't have to train. Like I don't have to do all that stuff. My job is healing. So it's pretty easy compared to a frontline fighter that's got to run in, take 2 or 3 swings, run back and block on the way back, and call for peels or whatever. So it's quite different when you're like in there grinding it right out for kills or whatever. Did you have something you want to add? Go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of want to expand on the fact that we do have these little in-house guilds events. So like if there are new players who are looking to come into Karleon Order, like it's there's never any shaming, there's never any like you suck, why are you here? It's very much so like, okay, like this is how you can do it better. It's very constructive. And we do it. I can only really play on the weekends, do the full-time job, kids, family, everything like that. So I'm a weekend warrior, very much so. But when I can, I usually think of like an event or two like through the week, and then I'm always throwing information at our guild council about what we can do this weekend. And we follow through the best we possibly can, and we usually have a pretty good time with it. So
yeah, that's really important to create content in your guild.
Yep. Yeah, anytime you can create content guild internally, it just makes life easier in a content drought type scenario like we are in essentially right now, because it being the beta. So, and then you can't, as far as I've been, seeing, my experience within Karleon Order is that the community itself, like just the people are as we've said before, like it's a bunch of good guys. Everybody is very, very, warm, welcoming, and, understanding. No one's calling anyone out or being toxic. It's a very good community. So guild internal events are always fun. There's never like any like strange toxic behavior or trash talking. It's just like, hey man, like here's what we could do better. Here's what you could do better. And like get better together kind of thing.
Yeah. Like when you got a bunch of new players and you gotta break it down and be slow and
Yeah, this game definitely offers a PvP experience that is unlike almost any other. There are very few examples that are close, and they're still not quite the same. So
yeah,
it's got a learning curve, that's for sure.
Yeah, there's hundreds of hours on the learning curve for like big fights, and if you guys are ever where you have to go to a fight and you're going to be the left side or whatever, and Kodo's up the center, and then whoever's on the right. Like you have to worry about just your guys. You know what I mean? And just take it slow and just don't dive too deep, because you'll see guilds, what they do is they'll sucker you in. Like they'll pull your lines into their lines and kind of get you to collapse on them. And then what they do is they just push right through you. And they run straight to your mages all the time. And that's a prime tactic that is used by older guilds probably, and on newer guilds, because you wouldn't see it coming, right? Because you think everything's chaotic, and they're backing up and they're suckering you guys in a little bit, and then they just run right through you. I can see it happen. I've seen it happen lots.
Oh, yeah.
Also, so we wanted to talk about to see if any of you guys had played Ultima Online in past, and or maybe you're not that old. Half of you guys, but you don't sound like you are, so maybe you haven't played it before.
I'm up there, but unfortunately I didn't. A bunch of my friends from the Albion community have though, and they loved it. I'm trying to get them over here.
Yeah. So
I'm up there as well, but I was raised on RuneScape, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys have a bunch of people in Albion that you're trying to get over here, because I know I had a couple of friends that were playing Albion. They come over here and they just loved the game. Absolutely loved it. They went back to Albion, after everything kind of split up in the game for us, but they loved it.
Yeah, well, I was speaking on a personal note from where I came from, but yeah, I mean, we were headed for Dreaded and Albion, and they love the PvP, so I tell them it's a different, obviously, first-person medieval combat's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but the principles are the same, and I know they'll enjoy it. But I think some of them are waiting for persistence and whatnot, but we'll see I hope I can get them over here.
Well, if they just get in and sort of wet their feet a little bit and test it out, they may like it,
Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna give it a shot.
And anybody that's a little bit older, kind of we're brought up on more hardcore games like Ultima Online. I played that game for 7 years. Like I lost a lot of time in that game, but man, was it fun. There's so much to do too. Malik, did you have anything you wanted to add in?
No. How about some questions from the chat?
We're getting there. What do we got? 1 minute left. So chat, if you guys want to start getting your questions in order, we can do that. There was another thing I wanted to talk about. I think it was more or less crafting and materials. I just wanted to touch back on that again. Do you guys kind of like organize? Say, okay, we're going to feed this guy. He's going to be like our guild extractor or GM extractor. Are you planning on taking a group out and saying, "Come on, guys, we got to go out. Let's get 40 stacks of granum tonight or this week or something"? Are you kind of planning on doing that kind of thing?
I actually wanted to real quick give a shout out to, because I might have to step away here for a second, but Tamarindo is our master extractor refiner.
Okay.
He wasn't able to make it tonight. He's also an officer in the guild. But yeah, I mean, he handles a lot of that. And Ancient Citizen on the EU side as well, one of our other officers. They're both really on top of that. They're really good dudes.
There's been a lot of trips where we'll have a whole lot of stuff gathered in another city, and then we just run a caravan, protecting a caravan type gig that has been going on multiple times. But
Yeah. If you want to write their name in Discord to me, and then I'll put it in my notes here for after. I'm going to do that.
Sure.
So I can make sure I give them the quick shout out of that. We went over the guilds. We talked about the keeps. Everything's good in that state. Okay, so I just want to, while the questions are being sorted out there, I wanted to touch on the state of the game, what you guys think of it as a guild, and then kind of individually. We'll just do that kind of quickly, and then you guys can each take a little crack at that. Go ahead there, Mangi, first, please, and maybe you can get Roland's comments in there as well.
Yeah, he's typing to me right now. I can see it. I'll
Okay.
start on my take of where the
Yeah.
game is at.
Please.
So I bought my key, I think, like the Tuesday before the free beta.
Yes.
Just because I knew, like, this is a game, like I said, I played this like 5-7 years ago when I didn't really understand the whole PvP thing or the whole open world PvP sandbox experience. And then finally got a little taste of it, loved it. And then I found that Mortal Online 1, like I wanted to be, I want to be able to fight and craft at the same time. I think a lot of people felt that way. A lot of people just made a second character, which is whatever. I'm not the kind of person, like even on Warcraft, I never had a second character. I always just played one guy. That was it. So
Dang.
I think that's where it fell off for me from Mortal Online 1, and then I heard Mortal Online 2 is coming out, and that's a problem they're addressing, which they did. So I waited that long for this game to come out. So I bought the key, knowing I was gonna play. So I got really excited for it. Got into the game, saw how much content was lacking, but still had a great time. This is before they had. This is like when you could just like walk out, grab a kit from a barrel, just in the middle of a field kind of thing.
Yeah.
And just be good to go. And then, stress test hit, and they actually put a little bit of direction to the game. Like a little bit of progression, crafting wise, which made me really giddy. And that, but all the armor sets all look the same. So that was something in Mortal Online 1 too that I was really happy about. I was picked up by some guild just to tame a bunch of desert horses. So like I only ever saw the Sardukan with carapace armor, whatever, the stuff that really makes it doable in the desert for the heat.
Yeah, it's light armor. Yep. So you don't overheat.
And I loved that it took on the material that you used, right?
Yeah.
So then when they finally put that into this, I got even more giddier, and I'm loving how everything looks. But again, content wise, like it's what you make of it, right?
Yeah.
So as long as you're going into it not expecting a full game, because it's not there. It needs a lot of work. But it's fun, it's doable.
Yeah. So you're mostly just you're happy with everything the way it is. Just give me more content. Period.
It needs more. It needs to, you know what I mean? Like they're going the direction. I'm happy with their progress. Because I can find my own content on here, right? Like they got the guys coming to raid FAD. You've got, our in-house guild stuff that we do, the transport and the guild bonding, that kind of stuff. That's what I'm here for. I really dove into this, wanted to be this. This is the game I'm gonna be playing for the next little bit for a while. So
yeah, big time. Bolvi, if you want to go ahead.
Yeah, I think that. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
We're kind of going over, as a guild, what do you think of the state of the game? And personally, what do you think of the state of the game for you personally? Like what you think?
I mean, yeah, Manji pretty much summed it up as far as the content. We have a lot of content as we're in Fab, but for the community as a whole and the player base as a whole, I think that the player housing and keeps is going to introduce a needed dynamic as far as a goal. Even though it's a sandbox game, and a lot of people want sandboxes, but there has to be some kind of underlying goal. I think that's going to bring in a whole new aspect to the game that will really drive the player base and everything like that. So I'm really looking forward to that in particular. And of course, all the other things as well, the dungeons and everything. I mean, but I think all of that will work towards basically the PvP in the end, even though it has enough to sustain PvE exclusive players. Once all the stuff is out, I hope that there will be enough in the end. It's all for getting mats and materials and stuff for war, basically, and the PvP.
Yeah. So basically, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, that's it. Yeah.
I've got Roland, so when you're ready for
I'll just let Titanborn go ahead and add in there while it's fresh.
Alrighty. Yeah. So I mean, I could give you a laundry list of suggestions that I think make PvE better. That's like my spiel, man. Like I'm definitely more of a PvE focused gamer. I'm still finding content, even though it's a PvE drought right now, and my
Yeah.
content isn't PvP. So I'm like one of those rare oddball players that's like super okay with ADHD focusing in on like the alchemy system and like doing formulas for it. And I find that fun. But I know that's not everybody. And at the end of the day, if for there to be PvP, there have to be players, and for there to continue to be a lot of players, you got to have more PvE. That's the main thing for me.
Yes.
There needs to be more engaging PvE. Like at the moment, even the dungeons are still feeling very much like I farm X mob, and there's X number of mobs in the dungeon, and there's no real mechanics. I know there's bosses, and I've seen some of the stuff on YouTube of like MO1, so I'm hopeful. But I even think they need to do better than that.
I think they
to
will
really keep it engaging, But
Yeah.
I think that from what I've seen Henrik comment, I follow his stuff that he comments in his streams pretty closely to try and get a pulse on it. And it seems like he's got the right idea of how, PvE should be. So I'm hopeful that'll happen. I'm not a pessimist. I'm definitely an optimist on that front. But at the moment, it's just one of those, you got to understand, like Mangi said, like it's a beta. The content's not in the game yet. Don't judge it upon that premise, right? Like you're testing content that is currently in the game, and there will be more. It's understood. So, I'm perfectly fine with no lifing on alchemy and other crafting systems, and just crafting infinite numbers of cool looking katanas to see what numbers they put in them. But that's not everybody, and I understand that too.
No. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Like I love PvP, but I love game mechanics. That's my go-to thing for sure. Like figuring out dungeons, PvE, and figuring out sieges. That's what I love.
Yeah, I want cool
So
mechanics in my dungeons, and I want like not like press X number of buttons, but like I want there to be like some repayability to these dungeons. That's the thing I want, basically.
MO1 dungeons were quite hard. They were quite hard. They were very unforgiving. That's for sure.
Well, I would expect so. Let's hope it stays that way.
Very like if you lost one player, like you're done. The whole group's getting wiped a lot. It was like that. It was quite hard. Like if somebody messed up, I mean, like if you're organized and you did everything by the book, you're solid. But if one person did something wrong, you could lose a group fairly easy in there. Okay, so Maggie, we'll take the from Roland his questions or his answers. Sorry, on the state of the game. Still there, Maggie?
Let me see. Roland didn't message me with the thing. He might have stepped away.
That's
there he is.
No, that's on me. I 100% had my mic muted physically. So
okay, let's have Roland's stuff.
The state of the game needs a lot of work, but I think we all really enjoy the basis of it, and the growth I've seen at least is looking very positive. Mostly just looking for more content, but there are definitely some glitches and sketchy systems that cause some trouble.
Yeah, he's bang on with that. That's like you said, the basics of the game is solid. I think everybody agrees with that. The visuals of the game are solid, and I think once they just keep adding content, like they're putting patches in pretty much every month now, right? So we're on the right track. We're getting a lot of stuff quickly, which is nice. Okay, so we're gonna switch. Manek, did you have the questions all sorted out? Do you want to go ahead and read them out to the guys?
Yep. I mean, we only have like 2 questions, but
That's fine.
we work with what we have.
Yep.
Okay, so Gray Fox asked, how do you guys feel about thieves?
I mean, I only got a taste of that playing MO1, how it actually works, but from what I've heard, it's just going to pretty much be like there's a bunch of Aladdins running around town. right? Like,
Yep.
you're standing there, then all of a
Yeah.
sudden your sword gets lifted, and you turn around, and people are gonna be chasing a thief through town. I mean, it's gonna be annoying, but I think that's, I think that adds to the game 100%. I think I think it's just fun. I think, like getting a thief in the right place, at the right time to lift the right item. That's gonna be kind of rewarding in a sense. Even if you're not the thief yourself, or like planning something like that, it just sounds good.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
the
I mean,
gray fox actually meant more like in the question, like, would you guys take in someone who you know that is already like a thief or something?
Oh, for the guild, okay, I see. Kind of,
like
would you guys
would
take
a
in
thief be a
thieves?
kill on sight? Basically, I think is what the question is. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
dude, I'm gonna be probably partaking in being a thief on one of my characters. I've got 3 right now, so I want to engage that system too. So I don't blame somebody else, but
So you're fine with them being in your guild, I think, is the other part of the question then. So
I guess it
Yeah.
depends on who they're thieving.
yeah, I think that's really it's context is the key here, right?
yeah,
Like
Yeah.
contact, not from
if
each
it's
other.
griefing, if it's just straight griefing, that might become a problem. But if it's like
Yeah. Oh.
you're doing it and you're being sly about it and you're like partaking in genuine content, not just griefing random people, I think that'd be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so thievery,
Okay.
you guys are okay with that. Okay, go ahead, Nick.
There is one more question from the killer of you. He
Or
asked,
you.
how would you guys describe KO in one sentence?
That's
Coming at us
it's
with
one of
the
those.
real interview questions here.
Yeah,
That's
get
that's
at
the
her, boys.
broad. That's the one everyone hates. That's the one everyone
Yeah.
hates. It's so hard to just get that in one sentence. I'm just gonna add. I'm gonna add to the previous question because I got distracted
Sure.
real quick. For Roland, Fair Furnace just reiterates what we said. So these are the
Yeah.
same. We look. It's the same way we look at murderers, really, like the griefers. If they steal from RPKers or PKers, it's fine, but from neutral players or ARPKers, then it's an issue.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. So you
Uh,
want targeted thieves in your guild then. That's
mhm.
Then Roland posted in the stream as well in the chat as to
yeah.
the second question.
I got it. I can read it. We are an
Yeah.
ARP guild that hopes to help new players and have a good time. That's a good way to put it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I
what
think
I've
I added
experienced
that
as
up.
a player. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I think I added that up top before in one of my questions and answers already. Yeah, AP. Oh, okay. Let me just add that one in for the synopsis. Is there any other questions, Nick?
Not really. That was only 2 questions.
And just so the people know too that we do prioritize PvP as well, as long as it fits into our ethos, our code.
Yeah. So you guys
Yeah,
have a code written up.
nothing official that I'm aware of, but yeah,
Oh, it's time to
it's
get
all
one written up then.
it's all coming together. Yeah.
You see, there's lots of other guilds that have theirs wrote up. So you guys, that's one of your next things and put on your to-do list kind of thing, eh?
Mhm.
All right. Okay. So as we're just gonna let you guys close now. You can talk about whatever you want about the guild, and just keep it brief. And then I'll do the synopsis of what I kind of got from you guys. I'll read it at the end here. So Mangi, if you want to go ahead.
Just kind of sum up about the guild or anything we want to say
Yeah,
about it.
whatever you feel like talking about, really, about the
Okay.
guild. Yeah,
I guess I could kind of plug in a kind of a recruitment for any new players or anybody looking to
absolutely.
become a part of that. You know, just shout out to just come and find Bolevi, Tamarindo, myself, Roland especially. If you come find them, just let us know that you want to be a part of it. You want to be a part of something that's growing. Obviously, we're not. We're not the experienced guild. We're not the top fighting guild. You could ask anybody that. We're not trying to pretend to be like we're ultimate pro players or anything like that. We hope to be at some point. So to kind of touch on what Killer just asked, long-term goal in the world of nation building. I
Yeah,
don't think mercenary fits our spiel to a T. I think it's notes of it maybe, but I think mainly we're just going to be kind of like a self-governing white knight police force in a sense, but there's still so much of the game to come, and there's still so much content that needs to be added, still so much mechanically that we need to see how it works and how it fits into politics before we can actually sit on that 100%.
Good. Go ahead, whoever wants to talk next. Titanborn, go ahead if you want.
I mean, I was just gonna say, like, kind of to tag along with like the question about the one sentence deal. I feel like if you're gonna, in my book, put it in one sentence, I'd say, Karleon Order's focus is to, improve the new player experience. Like we want you to see this game because we want to play it and we want people to play it. We want you to see this game and not think, oh, this is toxic. We want to be an example of the good that's in the community. And I feel like that kind of exudes through everything we do, both like PvP, PvE, whatever, the teaching role that we like to take and, help people out because like we're learning too. So we want the game to thrive and we want to be a part of that. So
yeah, that's huge because when new people come into the game, we got to make sure that they're not just walking into the old meat grinder. You know what I mean? Like in MO1, you'd be 10 minutes out of in the game and you'd be dead. So we got to try to avoid that as much as possible. And I think with the adding in of Haven was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Bovine.
Yeah, I'll just keep it short. Karleon Order. I'm new to MO, but it's been a great experience so far. They helped me out a lot. I've seen a lot of guys come in, and they're, everybody in here is very helpful. And as long as you're not a griefer and griefing us and whatnot, if you ever need anything, even if you're not in the guild, feel free to approach any of us and ask, and we're open to talk. It's been a great experience. I look forward to seeing new people in the guild and look forward to fighting new enemies. It's been fun so far.
Excellent. Mangi, if you're in chat there, you can read Roland just put something up in there for you.
Yeah, so he's answering Killer View. So Killer View asked, do you guys have any event that is happening? That may be to a positive or a past question.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, so he's answering the same question I had brought up earlier. So about the becoming mercenaries late game. End game goals. So grow strong. So he says in response to that, grow strong that we can provide a welcoming and fun community, and to put out a positive energy. So claiming territory and fighting those who don't support that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, so I'm just gonna sum up exactly what I was taking notes on about your guild, and you guys can correct me if I get anything wrong. So the guild leader, obviously, it was Roland. We call him Master Roland all the time. Mangi was speaking on behalf of him. Wolvine is logistics for Ermins and Weps. Kind of the public guy, does a little bit of the relations. Yager's not here, but he also helps Titanborn with alchemy, and those two guys are more into the PvE side and kind of dungeons, which would be, to help out funds for keeps and things like that for farming dungeons where you collect a vast amount of currency for your guild. ARPK guild out of Fab, they do have a KOS list. So basically they have about 10 to 15 people online right now. They have 110 members. They are looking for housing and keeps down the road. So the recruiting, they will take old and new players. They're very welcoming. And for the kind of the ethos is they want you to just follow some basic rules, help out new players, and not go and kill miners, naked miners. Alliances, you have nothing in stone yet. They're kind of, you have loose conversations where you may or may not go and fight side by side with somebody else for a bit. No mercenary contracts as of yet. State of the game, Mangy Goose says just more content will keep him happy. Bolvi, player housing and dungeons. Titanborn, more PvE. Roland said he likes the basic of the game right now. It's in good, and he likes where it's going. So we touched on a little bit of thievery. So they're okay with having thieves in the guild. This was the question from chat. They're okay with having thieves in the guild, but they try to stick to like using the thieves against like PK guilds and that maybe enemy guilds in general. So that's kind of what I got from the interview. And now, if there's anything that was off there, you can let me know right now. But I just want to give you a second to rebut anything that I may have missed or said incorrect.
That sounded pretty spot on to me. And I just wanted to say, my time management is horrible, but I want to say thank you for having me. I'm gonna have to take off. But
Yep.
yeah, it was great. That was cool, man. Thank you for having me.
Okay. I just want to thank KO for coming on tonight and everything they laid out. They answered all the questions very precise and direct. And a special shout out to Manik for helping the channel and being the admin and doing all the other work. And I want to thank Malik for coming on also to co-host tonight and help me with the questions. And a big shout out to Master Roland and what you guys have done for the community so far. It's been excellent. And special thanks to the chat as per normal because they kill it every time. And we're going to shut it off there, guys. Thanks very much.